All right, guys, it's almost time for another new comic book day this Wednesday, March 17th. So it's time to do a rundown of what's coming out and, more importantly, what I'm getting. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Thanks for being in the party. So this is what I'm getting. It's the weekly show where I run down the things that are coming out. I write down what I'm getting and I tell you what I'm most excited about, what's on the chopping block, and what I might just be making a game day decision on just for you. So let's go ahead and get started because this week is surprisingly another light week from the big two for me, which means I'm trying out a few more indie titles. So very, very cool. But I always like to start this rundown with the book that I am absolutely most excited for. And this week, that is Nightwing issue 78 by Tom Taylor. This is Tom Taylor's first issue, or the first issue of Tom Taylor's Nightwing run. And I'm very excited. So the DC Infinite Frontier era has been just really dope so far. A lot of characters got really good starting points, and it feels new. It doesn't feel like everything is starting from scratch, but it's just a nice little reset. I've been enjoying it so far. I've enjoyed Batman. I read the Wonder Woman book. Anyway, I got to get a sneak preview of this issue, the Nightwing 78 by Tom Taylor. I read the full issue front to back, and without spoiling anything, what I will say here is what I said on Twitter, and that is this book was everything that I love about Tom Taylor's writing and everything I love about Dick Grayson as a character, all in one book. Dick Grayson is fun in this book. He's not like some confused mystery man like he's been for the last however many issues. It's just a great book. And okay, if I say any more, I'm going to get into spoiler territory. But let's just say there's some things that start a new status quo for Dick Grayson that make so much sense but I had never thought about them before. So bravo, a very well done issue, and I'm definitely excited about it. So you guys should definitely pick that up if you see it on the stands this week. That's Nightwing number 78, and it's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm just getting that cover A. So since we're talking about DC Comics, let's go to another DC Comics book that I'm excited about this week. That is Justice League number 59. Now, this is another brand new start. Like I said, we're in the Infinite Frontier. So a lot of titles, this is a great time to jump on to DC Comics if you're a new reader or you're someone who usually reads Marvel or indies and stuff. There's a lot of good stuff happening with DC. They consistently have the books that I am most excited to read. So that should tell you something. But anyway, Justice League number 59. This marks the beginning of the Brian Michael Bendis era of Justice League, and we are getting a brand new team, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read off these names, the team with this new Justice League. We got Batman, Superman, Hawkgirl, Aquaman. We got Hippolyta, Naomi, and Black Adam. Like, what? So obviously I'm excited about this book because I always liked team books. Justice League was my favorite cartoon growing up, and any Justice League that more closely resembles that Justice League from the Justice League Unlimited cartoon gets a plus from me. But you guys also may have seen in the past, I reviewed Naomi, the first 6 issues of that series. We haven't gotten anything from Naomi since. She's made a couple of appearances in the Young Justice book, but nothing all that special. So we're getting a villain in this first issue of Justice League from Naomi's home world. So it sounds like we're going to finally flesh out more of what her character is, who she is, what her power sets are, and how she's coping with being a new hero, being on the Justice League of all teams. So that's going to be cool. That one has a cover price that I forgot to write. Oh, there we go. That one's got a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Very dope. And this next book is one of those that would normally just be on the maybe list. Like, it really is just maybe a list material, but I already pre-ordered it, so it's here right now. And that is Superman Red and Blue number 1. Now, this is an anthology series in the same vein as books like Batman Black and White or Wolverine Red, White, and Black. Basically, it's anthology stories, short stories, but the gimmick is that these books are in, specific tones. So here it's basically a black and white book, but it's got tones of red and blue in it. So the reason I'm picking up this book, one, because I always try to give Superman a shot, even if I don't always like Superman stories. But what I'll say about these anthology books is usually the stories that are inside are from writers and artists who really love the characters. And because there's not a whole bunch of continuity we have to worry about, you should be able to find at least one good story in them that kind of highlights one of the really good aspects of the character. So I'm going to give Superman Red and Blue a shot. Probably not going to continue the series after number 1, but I am picking that up this week, and it's got a cover price of $5.99. So that's it for my DC Comics pull. If I just stick to the list like I'm supposed to, my DC Comics are only going to cost me $15 this week. Very nice, very nice. Now let's move on to Marvel Comics. Now the Marvel comic that I am most excited about this week has got to be X-Force number 18, or a book that I like to call Quentin Going Crazy. Quentin Quire, Kid Omega. I had not read anything featuring him prior to this X-Force run, but I'm really falling in love with that character because of this X-Force run. And you see him on the cover going crazy. So I'm just excited to finally be back in the X-Men titles. I finally got my Ten of Swords hardcover, so I'm slowly catching up. So as soon as I do get caught up, X-Force is probably going to be the first series that I read. But yeah, so X-Force 18, getting the cover A, and it's got a price of $3.99. And then also out from Marvel this week is Thor number 13. What can I say about Donny Cates' Thor? Not a whole lot, since I haven't read it yet. But every time I bring up dropping Thor, everyone's like, yo, Thor is the best book on shelves right now. So instead of waiting and buying trades or hardcovers or whatever, I'm just going to binge this series, read it all at once, back to back to back, and maybe I'll like it, maybe I'll hate it, but at least I don't miss out on it, because those early issues were really hard to find and are really creeping up. They might be calming down now that the King in Black event is winding down, but who knows? But anyway, Thor number 13 out from Marvel this week. It's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Now, this next section, these are still Marvel books, but I'm going to call this cover buys. This is just books that I'm buying strictly for the covers. The first of those is Marvel number 6. Now, Marvel number 6 is basically this kind of anthology being curated by Alex Ross and Kurt Busiek. Just capitalizing on the whole Marvel's theme that they've been running with for the last few years. But anyway, this one's got an Alex Ross cover. I haven't read the rest of the books, but I have been collecting them for these Alex Ross covers. This one's no exception, and I believe this is the last issue of that run. So excited to finish that out, and I love that cover, and it's got a cover price of $4.99. Now, the next book that I'm buying specifically because of an Alex Ross cover is this one. This is Iron Man number 7. I've not read any of this new, I believe it's Christopher Cantwell, Iron Man run. Honestly, I just don't find Iron Man to be that exciting in the comic books. I love Tony Stark in the movies, but I guess that's really just Robert Downey Jr. But Tony in the comics is just to me. But what I can't pass on is this Alex Ross cover featuring War Machine. I've never seen an Alex Ross War Machine before, but it's dope. I love it, so I'm buying it specifically for that cover. So that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm getting the cover A, of course. So that's my Marvel Comics pull list. If I just stick to the list, my Marvel Comics are going to cost me $17 this week. Very respectable. I can get with that. All right, so now that we've looked at Marvel and DC, let's go ahead and run down the indie books that I'm getting this week. Now, for the first time, my indie total is actually going to surpass each of the big two. So that's pretty cool. Now, the first indie book on my list this week is from AWA Upshot, and that is Erratic #4. Erratic by Kari Andrews has really been a really dope series. Like my man Trevor said, I'm waiting for this book to become the Spider-Man ripoff that it so clearly wants to be. But following this kid Oliver has been interesting. I'm one issue behind, so I'm excited to catch up and read this one as well. But that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting cover A. The next on the list is Abbott 1973. #3 from Boom Studios. This is written by Saladin Ahmed, who is also writing the Miles Morales title right now. Again, this is another one of those 5-issue minis that I haven't really read yet, but I've just been picking it up because it looks interesting. Just adding it to the backlog. What I like to do is, between massive superhero arcs, I'll just pick up a nice indie series and read through that real quick. So that's what I'm planning to do with Abbott 1973. But anyway, that's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm getting the cover A on that one as well. Now, next up from indie titles, we are looking at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #115. That one is coming from IDW. I'm loving IDW Ninja Turtles. I started reading this at issue 100, and I've been powering through. As you can see on this cover, we got Bebop and Rocksteady, some fan favorites from the cartoon. I'm excited to get into this. They are pretty, they're going head to head against these new mutants that are here. So I'm excited about this book, and it's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm just getting the cover A, as always. All right, so next up from Image, we've got Radiant Black #2 by Kyle Higgins, the man who brought us such amazing feats in Power Rangers. This just looks really cool. I didn't get a chance to crack open issue #1, although I did pick it up. So I'm picking up issue #2, just hoping it's just as good, or hoping it's good, period. But there's not much I can say. I'm so behind. My backlog is so real. It's so real. I feel like I can't keep doing these videos if I don't get through this backlog. So that's what we're going to work on this week. I wish adults had spring break. That's what I need. I need just a week off work so I can just do all the things I want to do for fun. That's what I need. Somebody make that happen. Who do we call? Somebody call the adulting committee. But anyway, the last book on my indie list this week is The Walking Dead Deluxe. This is issue 11. You guys already know. You know the story. I've said it 8 times already today. I've not read The Walking Dead Deluxe. I'm picking it up because it's the only way to get The Walking Dead in color, and black and white comics just don't always do it for me. So, picking up The Walking Dead Deluxe, what's another plus is that these books all have David Finch cover A's, and I love David Finch art. He's one of my favorite artists out right now. So, Walking Dead Deluxe, David Finch cover A, and it's going for just $3.99. And that's the last book on my pull list this week. Now, as you can see, there's nothing on the chopping block, and there's technically nothing on the maybe list. I guess the 2 books that would have technically been maybes would have been the Iron Man #7 and the Superman Red and Blue #1, because they weren't books that I was already subscribed to, and they're just books I'm picking up for the first time for the cover or something. But anyway, nothing on the chopping block, and if I just stick to the list, I've got a grand total here for the indie books of $20. And that brings my total among all of the publishers to $52. Now, after my box discount and after taxes, it's looking like my grand total walking out of the door is going to be $50.19. 19 cents over budget, not bad at all. I don't know what you do to save 19 cents. I just maybe don't fill up the gas tank all the way. Just leave it 25 cents short. Something like that. I don't know. But anyway, very excited about this pull list this week. Excited about these titles. Very much excited about Nightwing and Justice League. I want to know what you guys are excited for this week. So let me know in the comments below what's on your pull list. And if you want to talk comics with us all the time, you should definitely join the K Squad. It's a very quickly growing group on Facebook. I love talking to you guys every day about what you're picking up, what stories you're enjoying, what characters you love. We have a good time. Plus, it's the only way to be eligible for some of these exclusive giveaways that we've been doing. So, Join the K Squad. The link is in the description of this video. By the way, shout out to everyone who's in the group and commenting today, because something special is going to happen for that. But anyway, I hope you saw something you liked in this video, and if not, that's cool. You can always buy what you like. Make sure you read what you buy, and be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.